Hello, everyone, and welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about resume, and this was one of the hardest things that I did after graduation as a PhD candidate. Normally, when you're looking for faculty jobs, you have to list everything because they are normally asking for a CV, so they don't ask for a resume. They want to know what you did, what was your research on, what kind of services did you do to your department, university, or even the group. They want to know what kind of impact did you have through your research or through your volunteer work that you did. So when you're applying for those, you normally list everything for your CV. And that makes it very hard if you're transitioning to the industry or any other sector like government. That might be a little bit different. For faculty jobs, I had a resume of about 9 pages, I think, with all my research, media appearances, mentorship, research that I did, job experiences that I had, education, theses, the things that I worked on there throughout my PhD, and it was a lot. So for industry, if you're applying to jobs, you normally want it to be around 1 page to 2 pages, and if it's a senior position, maybe 3 pages, and that's very important. Something that a lot of us might be doing after graduation is showing the world all the great things that we did. We did research that might not be directly related to the work that you're applying for, but just you want to show how great you are. That's not the point when you're applying to jobs, because for the employer, they care about the things that they need in order to get their business going or to get their um, strategies that they might be wanting to implement going. That's what matters to them. So when you see a job application, the important thing is that you actually address what's in the job application, not that absolutely you're an important person, you did a lot of great things, but what matters to that job is that you have the qualifications. And that's where we come to the keywords. In any job application, you have so many keywords that the job is looking for. They might want you to do data analytics, they might want you to be able to do research, they might want you to know about certain policies or strategies, corporate policies that they might have, or any plans that they want to implement depending on what you're being hired for. And because of that, you need to look at the job application and look at the keywords that are there. And now, of course, in the age of AI, you can use an AI to extract those keywords, but always do a manual check to make sure that those keywords are correct and actually align with the job ad. So the important thing is that you understand and recognize those keywords. The idea here is that have those keywords word by word in resume, because I believe the majority of ATS systems, they're looking for those keywords. I've heard that there's some newer ATS system, and by the way, I'm not an HR member, so these are just the things that I learned. Some ATS platforms might use AI to go through the resume, but normally the AI just scans for keywords and then gives you a score. And the earlier you apply, it's better, because essentially the ATS system kind of ranks candidates. Some of them rank candidates, from what I learned, based on when they applied. Well, it might make more sense to score them, to rank them based on the score, but it's sometimes hard to score them. So once you do the keywords, you are going through the ATS system, and after that, the HR is going to be looking at your resume. So you cannot just create a skills section and add all the keywords that you want in the skills section, because that's essentially meaningless to the HR person, because they cannot see how you had those keywords or qualifications that they are looking for. So what happens here is that you want to make sure the job, essentially the job roles that you had, or research experiences, or things that are falling under things that you did, data analytics, visualizations, presentations, anything that it is that the job is looking for and you have it, you want to write exactly the keyword and how you used it and what was like the impact or the results or the reason that you did that. That way, you're showing the keyword. The keyword makes you go through the ATS system, past that, and go to an actual HR person who is a human, who is going through the resume and reads them and can actually quantify or qualitatively look at the impact that you made through the bullet points for that job. So that's super important. And normally, once you pass that section, you go to the hiring manager, which makes things easier. Now, throughout this process, I found this very interesting YouTube channel called Headless Headhunter. He is in HR for computer science, but a lot of things that he mentions are really good. So I'm going to put his YouTube channel in the link. That might be very helpful to you. There's a lot more essentially um, guidelines on how to prepare your resume, but I think that particular channel was very helpful because it's very direct on what the jobs are looking for, and it actually goes through live resume, and you can actually upload your resume for him to review it. He's an HR person, and that was very interesting to me to learn a lot from him. He also has a template on his YouTube channel which shows you need to like put your education, the graduation either as a year or the date graduated, and then the job, a summary of the job, and the keywords associated with the house and the impacts that you made. Overall, I think it's a good channel. You can check that out, or you can check any other resume. The other thing that I would like to mention is that top universities normally have a lot of free resources available, such as MIT, Harvard, UCLA. They have like a resume section that is actually available to the public. You can read a lot of those. They have resume templates for those who are working to apply for faculty positions. You can find what might be needed there, cover letters, what should the templates be. They're all available. Normally, your university will have a career services as well that they can help you directly. At Carleton University, there was a career services that could help students with their resume and cover letters. So always try to find those things in your university. The other thing that I would like to mention is that sometimes as PhD candidates who just defended their thesis, we might be struggling to summarize things and bring down things to smaller components that we can actually use. So my recommendation to you is that make sure that you are following the job, not showing the great impact or research that you did. That's super important because you have only 1 page or 2 pages maximum to show that you are qualified for the job. The aim of that resume is show that you are qualified to go for an interview. The most important thing. The aim is not to show what a great person you are, because essentially, from what I learned from Headless Headhunter, is that the HR person goes only through your resume for like 20 seconds and they want to see the keywords, the impact, and how you did things in that resume. So it's super important. Sometimes we, the PhD candidates, we struggle to do that. I think it's super important to do it. I had to crunch 9 or 11 pages depending on what I was putting in the resume and which sections I was removing or adding. Um, I had to crunch that down to 2 pages, and it was not easy because you want to show how great you are. So it's a little bit hard. But the good news is that if you actually focus, you can totally do it. It's what matters is your education and essentially your experiences. And once you put it in the right template, in a readable template, you're good to go, and hopefully you land interviews and the job that you're looking for. Super important to use the career services of your university. If you don't have one, use the big universities available resources. And I hope that these videos are helpful to you. Thank you.